Welcome to the November 18, 2019 Frankfort Village Board meeting. We call this meeting to order and we ask our clerk, Jean Savaria, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Holland.
Here.
Trustee Borelli.
Here.
Trustee Clavio.
Present.
Trustee Farina.
Here.
Trustee Ogle.
Here.
Trustee Petro.
Here.
Trustee Trevarthen's absent. Attorney Lamore. Police Chief Barica. Admin Pisha.
Here.
Assistant Admin Cook.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on our agenda is what we call the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the unanimous consent agenda will be voted on after a single motion. If any of the trustees want to discuss any of the items on the unanimous consent agenda in more detail, we'll just remove the item from the consent agenda. So, I first ask, do any trustees want to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Clavio and a second by Trustee Petro to approve the consent agenda. And we do want the people here in our boardroom, our audience this evening, and the people at home on the television and on the internet who watch this show to know something about each of the items we're passing. So we'll just mention each one briefly. The first item is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting. The second item is the approval of the bills and the payroll, and we'll go to Trustee, Borelli for a report on that.
Mr. Mayor, just jumping in with point of order, I think it was Trustee Ogle that made the motion for the consent agenda.
Oh,
Not
well,
myself.
if it was Trustee Ogle, then we better give credit where credit is
Not a
due.
problem. Just want the minutes to be correct.
Well, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bills tonight total $1,171,907.57. A couple big ticket items here. One is to PT Faro, $346,109.33. And as we've substantially increased our road maintenance budget, we, as a result, see it on our bill list much more often and in bigger numbers. But it's great news for our residents. The second item on the list is one to Speece Construction, $127,768.18, and that's for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Adam. And then we have three items from our Operations Committee, and we'll go to Trustee Clavio for a report on those.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first item is a design engineering services agreement for an Elm Street reconstruction project. At the November 13th committee meeting, it was considered a request from the staff to enter an agreement with Robinson Engineering for the design engineering services for the reconstruction of Elm Street between Route 30 and Wisconsin Road. Superintendent Kessel reported as part of the village's 2019 roadway maintenance program, Elm Street was identified in very poor condition and requires full reconstruction. Given that need, the additional engineering services are required for the project, and Robinson Engineering provided an estimate of $250,000 for full reconstruction of the roadway. Funds are available in our fiscal year 2019-20 budget for the engineering services and for the reconstruction of the roadway, which will take place in 2020-21 budget. It was the general consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board. So before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Operations Committee, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a design engineering services agreement between the Village of Frankfort and Robinson Engineering for Elm Street reconstruction project in the amount of 7.5% of the awarded contract. The second item before us is a police department replacement vehicle. From time to time, we need to restore our fleet there because of use, maintenance, and various items. And at the November 13th, 2019 Operations Committee, a 2020 Ford Utility Police Interceptor all-wheel drive hybrid vehicle was given the authority to purchase from Curry Motors of Frankfort via the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative Agreement that we have in place. It was the general consensus of the committee to recommend to the village board to authorize the expenditure in the amount of $45,442. So before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Operations Committee and adopt a resolution authorizing expenditure to Curry Motors of Frankfort in the amount not to exceed $45,442 for the purchase of the 2020 Ford Utility Police Interceptor all-wheel drive hybrid vehicle, which includes the vehicle base price, options, equipment, and installation of the emergency equipment. And the third item before us tonight, Mr. Mayor, is the information technology equipment and updates. The village has been operating off of computer systems that are about as new as 2008, so the committee reviewed a request from staff to purchase various information technology equipment and updates to the village's operations. The village's existing hardware and software environment is aging and needs to be updated with its scheduled end of life in January 2020. Continued usage beyond this date presents a significant security risk to the village through viruses and other items, and the village's fiscal year 1920 budget includes funds for this project up to $185,000. The committee members discussed this, and it was the general consensus to forward a recommendation to the village board to authorize expenditures for the purchase of information technology equipment and updates in an amount not to exceed $167,000. So before us tonight on that motion is to accept the recommendation of the Operations Committee and adopt a resolution authorizing expenditures for the purchase of information technology equipment and updates in an amount not to exceed $167,000. So like we've been spending a lot of money tonight. I just say that after Student Government Day, so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, that's all we have.
Thank you, John. And those are all of the items on our unanimous consent agenda. And before we discuss and vote on those items, is there anyone in the audience who wanted to comment to the village board specifically about any one of those items on the consent agenda? Not hearing anything. How about the trustees? Any questions, comments? Then we'll go to our clerk, Jean Savaria, for the vote.
Trustee Clavio.
Yes.
Trustee Farina.
Yes.
Trustee Ogle.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item on our agenda is called the Mayor's Report. The first item on the Mayor's Report is the statement that this is Student Government Day. During the day today, we had students from Hickory Creek Middle School touring our village, learning about village activities, and participating in a mock board meeting just before the board meeting that we're having right now. Now, before that began, this is an educational experience, and Trustees Petro and Trustee Borelli spent considerable time with these students, as did their teacher, Michelle Summer, learning about village government, learning about different forms of local government, coming up with questions that are reasonable and logical to ask, finding answers to those questions. So these students go through a lot of effort. We have staff members and elected officials who go through a lot of effort, and some of us just enjoy it. It's a great time to come out and watch these students. They were engaged, they were interested, they were enthusiastic, and they really did have good questions and good answers. And they even suggested that I get a new chair, and made a motion about that and approved it. So there you go. Anyway, it was a wonderful event, and we certainly thank Frankfort School District 157C for cooperating in this event. The next item on the mayor's report is Shop Small Business Saturday. Now that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's a nationwide event, and we participate in it here in the village. We encourage people to shop the local small businesses on that Saturday, and frankly, we encourage people to shop in those businesses all the time. We have small shops all over Frankfort in the different shopping centers, not just our downtown, but in different places around the village. You can find gifts for the whole family for the holiday season. You can find things that you need in your home, and I want to read just a few items from the proclamation we hopefully will pass in just a moment. According to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 30.7 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of all firms with paid employees in the United States, and they're responsible for 64.9% of net new jobs created from 2000 to 2018. Small businesses employ 47.3% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. 94% of consumers in the United States value the contributions of small businesses make in their communities. Anyway, it goes on with lots of interesting statistics like that, but they really are very important to the economy of our country and to the activities in our country. And volunteerism and such comes right out of these small businesses, and they're wonderful for our community. So I would entertain a motion to proclaim Saturday, November 30th, 2019 as Small Business Saturday in the village of Frankfort.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then that motion passes. Village tree lighting ceremony is December 5th. Now this is a fun activity for the whole community. The Hickory Creek Middle School Choir will be singing at this activity. There will be the Black Willow Brass will be playing. Now that's actually it is a professional group, but they're going to play for us for free. Now we had some brass instruments once when the weather got really cold, and the darn valves will stick on the instruments. They freeze. So hopefully it's going to not be extremely cold on that night, because we've had experience with brass instruments before. But Santa Claus does come on a fire apparatus is probably the only way I can describe it anymore. It's quite a structure that the fire district has created to transport the Santa Claus to Brighart Green, and all of the young children have an opportunity to visit with Santa Claus that evening, and we do officially light the green and turn on all the lights. So it's a fun event. Rain or shine, it's going to happen that night. That's December 5th at 6:30 at Brighart Green. Frankfort Area Historical Society hosts their annual house walk. This is a big event. It typically sells out. You do have to get tickets in advance from the Historic Society Museum. You can go to the museum, or you call them at 469-6541. It's on December 6th. It goes from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And basically, people go over the top in decorating their homes for the house walk. And it's a time that you can go out and see how these people decorate and what they do in their homes. And it's open to the public. Very interesting event indeed. And we have Chris Kindle Weekend is scheduled for early December. That is on Saturday, December 7th from 1 to 4, and Sunday also from 1 to 4. There'll be letter writing to Santa, horse-drawn wagon rides, Santa's secret workshop, lantern parade with St. Nick's, cookie decorating, and hot cocoa stations. And, of course, the fire pit will be lit on Brighart Green, I'm sure. We can figure that one out, but we'll get that straight. It's a fun event. That's one of the many holiday events in Frankfort. Frankfort Historic Business Association's Cookie Walk is on December 7th and 8th, same time, noon to 3. Now that you have to buy tickets generally in advance, and you go to the Chamber of Commerce and you can get tickets, because they only make so many tickets, and they so many cookies, and they run out. So they have to have a way to control that. But that's a fun event too. And then we have the Midnight Madness event. That's on Friday, December 13th. That's been going on in this community for over 20 years that I know of. And it starts at 6 in the evening, and the sales in the downtown area get better as the evening goes on. So lots of people come out, and it's a party atmosphere in our downtown. Reindeer on the Green will be Saturday, December 14th, and it does mean that between noon and 2 p.m. there will be real reindeer on, actually they're in the parking lot next to Brighter Green. But it's a family-oriented event. There will, of course, be hot chocolate and cookies and such, and you can go see these reindeer, and they're huge. They're very interesting animals. When you get up next to a reindeer, you go, oh, that's much bigger than the deer wandering around in some of our backyards in Frankfort. They're quite a bit bigger. And at this program, the Girl Scout Service Unit 718 will be singing Christmas carols, and again, the Black Willow Brass Quintet will play. And finally, Holiday Beautification Award nominations are being taken now, but typically people wait until people have put up some decorations for the holidays, and we will take those nominations through December 17th. We want to recognize people who tastefully decorate their homes or their business properties for the holidays, those people who put in that extra effort. And that concludes the mayor's report. So now we'll go to our police chief, John Barica, for the police department report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'd like to remind people to be aware of their surroundings. Obviously, Frankfort, as many people have seen, has had some incidents on the trail and an ATM as of recently. And in these instances, we just want to make people aware that, when you see something that's out of the ordinary, something strange, or if you get that gut feeling that something's not right, get yourself safe and call the police right away. Most effective way for us police to work is when we're getting information from our community. We can't be everywhere all the time. However, if you call us and let us know what's going on, we can come check it. Even if it's nothing, we'd rather go check nothing than have it turn out to be something. But we do need the community to work with us. And speaking of that, we also want the community to make sure they lock their doors. Don't leave keys and key fobs in their cars. These do take some of our resources looking for that. So if people can help us out, it will make the whole community much safer. But we do ask people to call us with anytime they have something suspicious, something out of the ordinary going on. And then finally, I would just like to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. That's all I have.
Thank you, John. And now we go to our village administrator.
I had a question.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Chief, in regards to the recent armed robbery, and I know there's been incidences, excuse me, on Old Plank Trail, does the number of police officers reflect our population at this point? I know we're at 33.
We're getting 33, yes. We have that in the process right now. So we'll definitely, yes, be having more police officers added on to what we've had. Right now we have the 28. There's 2 coming out of FTO. There'll be 2 more that will be are in the academy and 1 more being hired.
And I understand generally the formula for the amount of police for a municipality is 2 per 1,000, which would make us the recommendation about 36 police officers.
That was an FBI number that they used. It was a generalized number. It changes a little bit, obviously, depending on what your population is and crime rates and different things like that. But it's a generalized number that they did use, so we'll be getting pretty close to that.
Okay, so in future budget discussions, we should probably approach that in regards to safety and being up to snuff. And I had another question. I know we've talked recently about possible retirements on the force and attrition. How does that impact the number of police we currently have and future needs?
That's obviously something we talk about at budget time all the time, trying to calculate when people could retire. Obviously, there's no set date all the time of when they will retire, but we will start putting that into our formula and trying to add people, because obviously it does take a little bit of time to hire new police officers and get them trained.
Mm-hmm. Then I had one follow-up question actually for Assistant Village Administrator Jeff Cook. I think you're working on the census for us on behalf of the village?
Yes, we've participated in their local update of the address list and the construction program that they've offered. So we've gotten several addresses added to the census program for the count.
And when is the census finalized for Frankfort and the state?
Well, they'll start counting in January. Census day is April 1st. But then they go through a whole process that doesn't conclude for about another year. before it's certified and signed off by the president.
So in 2021, we'll probably see a population increase based on census data, and I'm relating that to the increased need for police in addition to the 36 right now. So with long-term planning and attrition rates, we're going to need to add in the next several years, especially when I see all this crime. I don't know about my other fellow trustees, but I've gotten a lot of calls and texts concerned about what's happening in Frankfort, and I certainly want to see us staffed to the appropriate numbers to protect our residents and so forth.
We're very concerned ourselves.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you are doing. That's it, Mayor Holland.
We'll go to our village administrator, Rob Pisha, for the village administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to congratulate the students for Student Government Day. Had an opportunity to interact with them here at the Village Hall and then again at lunch. It is, again, an amazing and a testament to our community that we have the kids that want to participate in learning about village government. And once again, they just did a fantastic job, and they were very insightful with their comments and questions. Also want to congratulate Trustee Petro and Trustee Borelli on doing a fine job stepping in after all the years that Trustee Heath did it. It's a lot of things that go on in the background, and I want to thank you for your efforts and helping the kids get prepared for the board meeting. And as you'll see online, that the kids did a great job when they did the mock board meeting. So thank you for your efforts with that. You guys did a great job. Also want to update the residents on leaf pickup. Obviously, again, I've reported at previous board meetings, we've had kind of a weird season, and there are trees that still have leaves. I think they're frozen to the trees, but we are still actively trying to do that. They're working overtime shifts to try to get the leaves picked up. Right now, it is scheduled to go through Monday, November 25th, but that may get extended if the weather cooperates. We have started our conversion, unfortunately, to put the snow plows together, so that does hamper our ability to do the leaves, but we will continue to try to pick them up as the seasons, as the weather allows. I also want to wish the Lincoln Way East football team good luck. They're right now in the semifinal game, and hopefully they'll win, and by the time our next board meeting, we can report that they've won another state championship. And finally, I also want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
We go to Village Attorney Hannah Lamore for the Village Attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did want to comment. This is now my 4th time participating in Student Government Day, and I enjoy it more and more each time. I continue to be impressed with how inquisitive the students are, and then also how fun they make the presentation of the information at the mock board meeting. So I look forward to participating in future years. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And that brings us to the part of our meeting we call Other Business, and we'll start this evening with our clerk, Jean Zavaria.
Really nothing this evening, Mayor. I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and it's been a pleasure serving with you guys this year.
Thank you, Jean. And Trustee Clavio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things. One, a thank you to Trustee Borelli and Trustee Petro. Filling the shoes of Trustee Heath for this event is huge, and you guys did a fabulous job. It is, I agree with Attorney Lamore, it's fun to partake in it, even as a viewer, and I speak for myself in the fact that sometimes I think with the daily pressures and stress and everything, you kind of take yourself too seriously, and this event allows us to realize that, you know, these kids are inquisitive, they're energetic, they're taking it seriously, but it's fun for them as well, and they want to learn, and that's a lesson we can all learn from, is to not take ourselves too seriously and be a kid at times. Secondly, I want to wish everybody in the community a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Shop, 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 shop in the stores. This is noted in the press to be the first Black Friday that will surpass in-store sales because of online sales. And if we don't shop in-store, we don't have stores, which means we don't have sales tax. So shop, shop, shop local and hard stores. And then lastly, I want to echo what Chief said, is that as odd as it seems, many people in our community don't call the police because they either don't want a record of it or they don't think it's that bad of what happened to them. But the police are there for us and for our protection. So as little as minute as it may seem to you, definitely call the police, call 911. That's what they're there for. We need to know about stuff in the community to stop it from happening. So please do call the police whenever anything seems unusual. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very excited about today's student government and just feel privileged to have led that with Trustee Borelli. I could echo everyone's comments, but really just spending some time with the students and the youth. You're just energized by their inquisitive nature, their energy, their questions, and their really willingness to want to get involved within our community and local government. Want to send a huge thank you to Sue Leachy, who we could not have pulled this event off without her, as well as Kevin and our IT department pulling together some fun technology that the kids got to play with today as well. And a big thank you to the board and the staff for your time and your commitment and engaging with all the students. So thank you for all that were involved, and I think it turned out to be a really nice night. Also, I would just support the Small Business Saturday. We can't say it enough. It is a fabric, really, of our community and our downtown and the businesses within Frankfort. So please do go out and make sure that we support our local small businesses. You know, they are the ones that are sponsoring our events, our activities, our youth, sports groups, and we want to make sure that we are continuing to put that back into the community. I have to say, it's definitely coming up on some of my favorite times of the year to be in Frankfort, and you can certainly find it in Frankfort, whether that's shopping, the different events. I know I already purchased my cookie walk tickets. We look forward to doing that as a family every year. The house walk is coming up. I was able to participate in that last year, and it was just a really fun event to, share with the community the different decorations and certainly the holiday spirit. And if you haven't attended that, I would encourage you to purchase your tickets and participate. I know there'll be some great homes that will be on the walk this year. And also a quick reminder that if you have not had the chance to check out the new downtown parking survey that is available online, at our recent committee meetings, we talked about some alternatives to our parking, and we're looking for some participation and feedback from the residents. So please, it's a brief 4-question survey. Do take a chance to fill that out. And last and certainly not least, wishing everyone, all of you on the board, and all of our community a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Jessica. Trustee Farina.
Thank you, Mayor Holland. I did get my cookie walk tickets, Trustee Petro, and I have my check written out for the house walk, which my girlfriends and I do that every year. It's fabulous down here in Frankfort. A few things. I did want to congratulate all the students who participated in Student Government Day. What a wonderful day. I had lunch with my fellow trustees, both young and mature. And it was great. The children were fantastic to speak with and discuss various things from the haunted house to the granary. So congratulations on a nice event. A few other items. I just want to acknowledge my colleague, Trustee Ogle. A few months ago, he recommended an ethics ordinance, and then he brought that up last week in committee. I think that's a good idea and something that we should continue to explore and move forward with. So thank you, Trustee Ogle. I wanted to congratulate Bert Benke. He is our new Chamber of Commerce president for the upcoming year, and best wishes to Harry Diarcoli, who just finished his term as president. Our Chamber of Commerce works really hard. It has over 600 members, and I'm very excited about the upcoming year. And then finally, I also want to extend a congratulations to the Frankfort Arts Association. They just opened their new gallery. It was beautiful. They had a number of local area artists. And I know somebody who purchased the first painting there, our Mayor Holland. But it's definitely something, if you haven't gotten an opportunity yet to see it, go visit it. They will have open hours throughout the year, and they'll have various artists and exhibits there in the different seasons. And eventually they will be showing some of their art here too in Village Hall, which I'm very excited about. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Have a wonderful and blessed week. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Trustee Ogle.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anything I can add to any of these ones here real quick, but today is Student Government Day. Has to be one of my favorite events that we do here. It's a delight to meet with our young people in town. They have these tremendous minds and these great questions. And Trustee Petro and Borelli, you did a wonderful job taking over for Trustee Heath in this. And as Trustee Petro had said, this is moving into probably one of my favorite times also in Frankfort. The events are done for the summer, but this moves into maximum charm time with the decorations and the lighting and everything downtown, and I really do enjoy it. I would like to wish all of our residents and my colleagues also on the board a very happy Thanksgiving, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Keith, and Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be redundant, but it's got to be said. I do, Student Government Day has always been my favorite of the events that we have here every year, and to actually get the opportunity to run it along with Trustee Petro has been a real privilege. What a fantastic group of kids. Very bright, very enthusiastic, ask great questions, and if a quarter of them stay involved in government, our future looks bright. And also thank you, Trustee Petro, for the photo booth idea. I think it was very popular and a big hit, so a great idea. Thanks, Michelle Summer, for running it. She's the teacher that organizes it all. And Sue Lynchy for everything she did. Also, thank you to the mayor and the board members for being there and involved, and the staff for all your time today. Really a great day, and the tours are fantastic, especially Mike Stone's. That was pretty exciting. So he was really into it, you could tell. So, and last, I want to make sure that I thank former Trustee Heath, because without her footprint on this event, it would have been much more difficult. So thank you, Cindy. Cookie Walk, get your tickets, because I always wait to the last minute and then they're out, so please go get them. Echoing the other trustees' comments on Small Business Saturday, shop small, shop Frankfort. It's so important to our community. I want to echo Trustee Petro's comments on the parking study. I took it, it's 4 questions, it took less than 60 seconds. There's no essays or anything like that, just take it. It's very important for us as we look to make decisions on possibly restricting parking in downtown Frankfort. Go East. I'm glad Loyola lost to Marist, because now I could probably watch that game. I wouldn't have been able to make it up to Wilmette, but now that it's on the south side, I think I'll be able to catch it. So, yeah, go East. And I want to wish you all a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Adam. And that brings us to the part of our meeting that's for public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to comment to the village board tonight? Please come forward so that the television will pick up your voice on the microphone.
Good evening, Board. My name is James Gray. I'm in the LaPorte Meadows Court area. My question is regarding the closing of Lincoln Way North. I can't help it, every other night I pass by there, the stadium lights are on. So I want to know if the village know that our taxpayer dollars are paying for the lights, the utilities, or what's still going on with the school being closed. And I've been here 11 years, and every year my taxes is going up. So I'd like to know what's been done about the empty school, or we making a move to sell it, or what?
Sure, I can make a few comments on that. The first is that the school district is a separate government, okay, and the school is completely operated separately from the village government. So we have little to nothing to say about it, except we know from practical experience that, for instance, the school has made an arrangement with the Frankfort Square Park District to use especially the athletic facilities for various Park District programs. And I think the arrangement goes something like the Park District is taking care of the outside facilities and the gym and the different fields around the school, and in return the school lets them use them for Park District activities. But again, that's a question for either the Park District or the school district, but that could be why the lights are on. The school district has announced at public meetings that the property is for sale. There have been a few discussions that I've seen in the newspaper about potential buyers, but I don't know anything about where they are on selling the property. Some of us would hope that our population increases enough and the finances of the school district improve enough so that the school would eventually open again. That's not likely for a number of years because there continues to be a student population decline in our high school district. But those are just some of the comments that I could make. Perhaps one of the other trustees knows something more, but I wish I could answer the question exactly, but
No problem, took a try.
yeah, I'd take a shot at it, but I think your question is best directed toward the Frankfort Square Park District or the Lincoln Way High School District 210. High School District 210 owns the property, and they have a board just like this that meets on a regular basis, and so does the Park District.
Great, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing nothing further, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.